All right, welcome back everybody to week 3 of EC with our back-to-back matches. We now have Chads versus Oracle. We have an Oni set. First up, we're seeing Bolitar or Ward as Oni for Team Oracle. We have a bit of an interesting build actually. Um, he actually is running leverage in place of a BAM or a Brutal. So I'm really curious to see if this is going to get any value. I do see the idea of it. If he lets an unhook go for free, he can get more blood orbs if they try to heal. And a nice mind game at the tile onto Z Slasher. Z Slasher, very good ladder player as well. But is going to end up getting that mind game. And because this is cross ping, he is going to get that hit. So very fast first hit for Bolitar. We might just let the survivor bleed and get try to find another chase somewhere else in our generators because we do have that power very, very early on. And he is making it all the way to the shack. We see all 3 survivors. We know where every single person is in this entire game. We're going to put a kick down. This is going to be our eruption onto this generator. And we can choose to chase Z-Slasher if we want. Most likely somebody is meeting him for a heal here. We see him vault. And Dino is here. We were actually meeting for a heal. We might pop our power onto Dino. We're thinking about it, but we're also checking on that mid-gen. We don't want them to get that for free. We're going to have a vault from Dino. He's going to make it back to the shack pallet. And we might just take that break and then go. It looks like Dino's going to be hitting that balance landing on the basement stairs. Try to get out of dodge, but all he makes it to is double windows. Very unfortunate for Dino. We're going to pop our power. Bolitar trying to decide which survivor he wants to go for. He is going to go for Dino. He is very close to him, but you cannot do more than 90 degrees on Oni as of this current patch, so he is very prone to getting corner tech. And a nice jump into the locker from Dino, but not going to be able to jump back in before Bolitar gets that down. It's going to be a pretty quick down, all things considered. He had a lot of pressure here. They did get a lot of progress on that mid-gen, but he was able to interrupt it. And we got the eruption onto it, and we're going to get this hook into the basement. We have a lot of blood on this side of the map. Z-Slasher was bleeding here for a very long time. We didn't pop our power for quite a while. So we do have quite the stock of blood here, and we're going to leave more blood here. We're going to try to get some blood from further up to get our power. Leave some of this on the bottom side. We're going to look, see if we can find anybody else here. Maybe pop our power, get some more momentum going. We do see John here, but we're going to put a kick here, get eruption down. Surely that eruption will come through before that generator is able to pop. Not too much progress on it. We're keeping an eye downtown, see if we can see anybody crossing for that pull, but looks like John's the only one possibly going for it. And this is, again, a double window tile. This is a TL wall. Not the best tile. It is pretty good against no 180 Oni, but unfortunately the way John pathed it is going to be an insta-down, and we're going to see Bolitar actually slugging for pressure here. We had an idea that somebody was here earlier. Nobody can possibly be getting Dino now at this point. It would be kind of crazy. Bolitar's just checking around this area, and he actually finds somebody. Not going to get the down. We are going to make the vault in time. I think this is going to be the power right now. We did see Dino go second here. We're trying to do something fancy here, but not quite going to find the survivor. And we see the pickup come in onto John. So we know where 3 people are at this point. We're going to put a kick here. There's not a lot of progress around this map. This is kind of a scary spot for Team Chads. They have basically no progress. Yeah, even listen to this gen. They have basically no progress, and Dino is just dying in basement this whole time. Bolitar's not even been down there since he hooked Dino. We're finally going to see the pull, but Dino's going to have to play this chase with nothing and injured. There's no fillers on this bottom side. He has double windows on his right. He has double windows on his left. He has no shack pallet. Dino is stuck here, and I really don't... Oh, wow. Nice prediction on the head-on. Wow, we actually saw Bolitar just stop in place and predict that head on, and Z-Slasher is not going to get it. So now, once again, Dino is stuck on the bottom side with nothing. We saw no fillers here. Okay, there is one filler. This is kind of all Dino has to work with, and he's going to drop it already. A nice vault back, but Bolitar's cranking on that bloodlust, so he's not really going to make it. And a fake double back, and this is going to be Dino dead. This is triple eruption proc. And they still have no gens left. Dino is still pain res, mind you. Look at them stacking that generator, and it's just going to get pain resed, and they're not going to pop it. This is hopefully not going to be a 4K5. But I will say I am scared. He did, in fact, pick the right generator. And we do see, and he just runs back into Bolitar, losing that 50. Maybe not quite knowing where Bolitar is coming from. Tried to pre-run inside, but Bolitar went outside and saw him. And Team Chaz really needs to stealth. We saw blood on the ground. I don't know if Bolitar saw it, but somebody was just there. Yeah, we literally walked right past Z-Slasher. We saw the blood on the ground, but Bolitar did not see it. And we're going to go back to Inno, actually. We might catch Z-Slasher rotating here. We do find him. We can't quite get that flick, though. Z-Slasher cornered up, and he's going to lose power. So Chads are still in this, but this is very, very, very scary spot. Z-Slasher needs to, like, live a long time here. We know that John is going for that pull. Nice movement from Bolitar. Is it going to work? No, not quite. We are going to make it to the pallet. We do see the pickup. So Chads are still in this. They can still pop a few more generators here. But, I mean, he has permanent power. He has eruption down on that other generator, and looks like somebody just 7%ed it, and Z-Slasher's just going to be dead. I mean, he hops locker, but he's just going to get his power back again, and this is going to be another pain res, and I am truly very scared that this is going to be a 4K5. And I am praying that Team Chaz can pop at least 2 gens. Oh, we hear that 4th hit onto that generator. It is halfway to being entity blocked, but it is just being cooked. And we find John. He's going to have to live here. And bullets are not quite remembering that Oni can't 180 anymore. Goes for a classic flick. And this is going to be John dead. Surprisingly, this isn't the first 4K5 we'll see today. And it is going to be a 4K5. Yeah. We actually did see a 4K5 earlier today with Supremacy earlier in the day on Spirit. And now this is a 4K5 on Oni. This is very, very bad for Team Chads. This is some bad momentum going into the next set. There might be a chance that they opt to forfeit the set. I'm not sure if that's going to be allowed or if we're going to force them to play it out. Yeah, so that's going to be a very unfortunate result for Team Chaz, just not really getting any gen progress at all for Dino's death, and then unfortunately giving that snowball to never pop any of these gens that were so high progress. Both these gens were about 95 2 separate times, but Dino still had that pain res. So we interrupted this one gen, and then we went and found Inno on the other gen, and just never able to pop both of them because this ended up being our only progress on the top side with permanent power. So very, very unfortunate. But well played from Bolitar. Some good mind games, and just kept up the pressure throughout the whole game. So we're going to be back in just a couple minutes after we go into the next half of the set. All right, welcome back, everybody. We have chosen to forfeit the first set, so there will be no second half to the Oni. We are going straight into Chad's pick of the Singularity. Dino, unfortunately, not confident he could match a 4K5 on Oni, which is very, very reasonable. So we are going to be seeing the Singu here. We do have a bit of the Power Rangers on the serve side with these color coordinated outfits. We're going to see if they are able to channel the powers. And we are going to get a nice hit onto Bulbasaur. He actually drops the pallet onto Dino while he was in that overclock mode. So we might be able to see a fast down. Oh, honestly, maybe Dino could have swung through that. I don't know, but I'm a little greedy. We're going to get a quick TP down. And this is a lot of pallets broken out already. And we see Ward, very smart. He waits there to see. Oh! Amazing break of the door from Dino, using that very quick break speed from the overclock mode to actually cut Ward off from making it to the other side of the window. I think we heard somebody in with an EMP, so Dino chose to break it out quickly to avoid getting body blocked there. So great choice from Dino. We're going to get an infection onto V1, and we know that Flix is in the main building. We're just going to see if we can find, yeah, we find Ace here, so we know where every single person is, and we're going to charge that TP, but V1 does have the EMP in hand. We're not going to choose the TP. We're actually going to end up choosing to TP to V1 now while he's getting that EMP case. We're pretty confident that nobody is going for the pull yet, but we actually see Flix going in now, but we are going to be able to get back in a pretty timely manner. Ward is going to be pretty stuck in this area. This camera is not the best, though. Dino kind of set it up hastily to get Flix off of that main building. And we actually see Ward running around the back of main, and we're going to get that that goop off onto him, and he's just stuck there. He can't walk out or he's going to get TP'd on. And we very nearly get that TP angle. Dino can just keep checking it, make sure he's still there. And we are going to get the TP naturally by walking. Ward was stuck, and we're going to drop this pallet, and he's going to be dead unless somebody comes in for a hit tank here. But even so, this is a difficult area to get a hit tank. And we're going to have a little bit of a micro fake. This is going to be Ward down again, and we're going to get another infection onto our ace player. This is going to be a quick redown for Dino. And that's going to be our first generator popping, but we have this really nice 3-gen around main. Definitely something we want to play for in the future, and we're gonna get an infection there as well. We're gonna see somebody on this generator, but they're hiding from the camera. Dino can't quite see them. We're gonna get a TP actually onto Courtney right as he cleanses his infection, and we're gonna get a tag. There is no sloppy, but this is still a lot of slowdown for Dino. We see somebody coming in. We see Flix once again going in for the save. We're gonna be able to TP right onto him. Oh, not quite, but okay, we do end up getting it. And this is going to be Ward's last chase of the game. We're going to have to see if he can make anything work here. We do see the Lithe come in, but he knows he can't play that backside of main because there is a camera. And we're going to see the EMP come through, but he actually gets the TP from Courtney, and he swings. He kind of can't really decide which person to go for. And we're going to have Chase back onto Ward, and we're going to get that camera. And we're going to keep him there. He's stuck there. There's 2 cameras watching everywhere he can go. And we're going to get that nice TP angle on to Ward. And we're going to get the down. And V1 is here still. And we're going to be in a little bit of a chaotic situation here. Very fast-paced. I did actually make Dino promise me before this that this would not be an hour-long game. And we actually get the flashlight blind from above. Oh, my God. I can't believe he got that angle. We had a blind from upstairs on the main building, and it was Champion of Light 2, I believe. But we see another generator pop, and we're going to have this chase continued onto Ward, and he actually made it to a good area of the map. So this is looking kind of bad for Dino now after that flashlight save. Really great team play. I would never have expected that. We're going to get a TP onto Flix. We're going to be able to get a tag here. This is a lot of chaos for Dino, so still not a bad spot to be in. We're going to get another infection onto him. We're going to see if we can find Ward, and we do find him. Looks like somebody was trying to heal him, but we're going to get that TP, and it instantly breaks the pallet. We drop it on his head. It's only a matter of time, but we're actually going to take this TP. We want all of our pressure. We don't need Ward dead now if we can keep these generators. We're going to keep looking around. We get another TP on the back of main, but it puts us inside main. That could have been a very fast down, but Dino's going to hold this angle here and force Cartney to pick something here, and this is going to be another down. This is a lot of pressure for Dino. This is 2 people dead down on the ground at main building. If we find any of them, this is really bad, and we actually find V1. He is infected now. Ward is the only person we don't know where he is, but we're going to take that pick, and we're going to go for a Painter's Hook here. We want these gens to start regressing. Dino does have a very aggressive gen build. Not able to go over this earlier, but he does have Pain Res, Pop, and then Oppression, Call of Brine. So we're definitely playing for a lot of regression for holding these generator spreads throughout the long game if we're Dino. And that's Ward under Gallows, but not quite able to get an angle here. We do still have Flicks down on the ground here, and we have V1 injured and infected. We're going to see if we can find anybody here. And we actually get the TP onto V1. He's going to be down as well. Flicks, we get the pickup, but I think he crawled to Gallows. And we're not going to be able to get that pull. They had to abort. They ran inside the main building. And we're going to get the infection onto Ward. He has to be very careful now. He's stuck in the main building. This is so much pressure from Dino. And we're not going to be able to get that pull. Dino with really strong cam locations here, just protecting that hook from every angle, so they can't really go in for it. But it looks like Flicks finally snuck around behind main and was able to get that. But Ward is still somewhere in the area, I imagine. We didn't see him leave. And there's Ward. We can commit him now if we're able to get an angle here. I think he's still in the main building. He's somewhere here. And he is. And he runs right into Dino. He didn't see him walking in the door. This is going to be death on Ward. We know they just reset behind main. Oh my gosh, this is some crazy pressure from Dino. This is going to be a death. We still have V1 on the ground. They full reset behind main. And we're going to get an infection onto V1, or sorry, onto Cartney. And we see them rotating into that Gallows area, but I think we want to, at this point, finally kick main. We find Flicks at the main building. We're going to want to kick main finally. We have Pop now, and we're going to have Oppression starting to regress any generators that might have had progress. There is only 4 total on the map, so if anyone had progress, it's most likely regressing from that Oppression RNG. And we're going to try to get a cheeky angle on a Cartney, but not quite able to get it. And we see the unhook come through. And we're going to see V1 over there. Sorry, there was no unhook. We see a EMP from Flicks in main. We're going to try to get a cheeky angle here. Flicks is kind of stuck in that little room. We know where Cartney is now. He's trying to get an EMP from this water tower area. V1, we did see him earlier on the top side of the map. So we kind of have an idea of where he is. And they're just healing in front of him. I don't think Dino saw them. That was kind of silly. I don't think Dino saw them just healing in front of him. And somehow they didn't see him either. And we're going to get that Call of Brine notification. We know that Flicks is back on that main gen. I don't think we want to let it go. But we also have pressure on 2 survivors here. But we're going to be able to get the TP onto Flicks. So now we have that heal reset. And we're going to zone Flicks away from being able to make it to the window. And we're going to see if we can get a cheeky angle on them resetting over in that Gallows area. But looks like they're holding their distance well. And we don't have this edge camera anymore that Dino would have liked behind the main building. So kind of losing a grip a little bit here. Not quite getting that TP onto Flicks, even though he was just rounding the corner. But we do get the TP now. I think this is going to be pretty safely a tag. It is going to be a hit, but we do get the full reset onto V1 and Cartney. But we are pretty safe to commit Flicks here. A good TP, and Flicks is going to medium vault that, but I think he's dead. I don't think he makes this. Dino can swing. Oh, okay. Dino thinks he makes it. Me personally, I would have swung for that, but I also might have chopped wood, so who knows. And we're going to take our death spot as far away from main as we can. We know that both of these survivors just EMP'd together. Based on that EMP on the camera, we can kind of figure out where they were, and we get another tag on a Cartney with our infection. And we're going to have our hook onto Flicks on the back main. I don't believe he's been hooked before, so this might be another pain res here. We do know this hook is pain res. And it is. I think it's going to hit main building. We're going to get rid of some of these cameras that we don't need anymore. There is one gen that Dino isn't super able to watch at the moment. No, he can now. The camera's back. So all of these generators are well within Dino's sight here. And we get a TP actually onto V1. Not the thing you want to see. We do get that EMP off, but it was just a little bit not in time. And looks like he took the TP, so we could get the unhook onto Flix. We get the infection, actually. They didn't quite expect Dino to have the range to be able to see that, but we still don't have that camera behind main, so we're not going to be able to get it. And we're going to replace this cam to get an EMP onto V1, and we're going to go for that TP before he's able to use it. And we do have oxygen tanks, so there's no exhaustion, and V1's going to be going down here. Dino with a nice bait. And we see crows back main, so we know they're still there. They did heal. We're going to reset these cameras. Dino, I think he's finally sick of not being able to see behind main building. Somebody was in here, actually. We're going to put a camera on that cactus. I know Dino loves that cactus spot. And we're going to get another infection onto Flix. We're going to try to get a TP, but Flix not quite going to give it to him. And we're still going to be looking for it. But we looked away right as we saw Flix. We know nobody is near V1. We know somebody is upstairs main. We know V1 was down over in this tile. Up the stairs. And he's still here. We are going to finally take the pick. We know there's no gen progress anymore. This is a very comfortable position for Dino. I don't think anybody is Death Hook. I believe everybody has one stage on them, and we're just starting this Gallows generator fresh. There is no cam here, so Dino would have to walk out for it a little bit. We see the yellow Power Ranger in a little bit of a bush nearby, waiting to get that pull onto V1. And we do finally see that Courtney is pressuring this generator on Gallows. We are going to be able to put up some cameras here, though, and pressure him off of it. He's just sitting on it, just cranking. And Dino's going to set up his camera so that can't do that anymore. We're going to put a kick down onto it. That's going to give us pop and our Call of Brine combo as well. Oppression is regressing any of the other generators that might have had any progress, but not quite getting any. I think everything is regressing already. Main has been regressing for quite some time now. Earlier that generator was almost completed, but Dino made the choice to leave it. Or sorry, to interrupt it, and definitely paying off as he was able to still get that death before it popped. And we're going to get the EMP, or sorry, the infection on to Courtney, and we're going to get the TP off before he can get it off as well. So this is going to be everybody infected and injured. He can just commit this. This is their only progress. He loses nothing by doing this. He's going to get the fast break, and even if Courtney uses every single pallet in this area of the map, 99 SB, because of that oxygen tank, he wasn't able to use it earlier, so a nice little sprint burst through the pallet. But we actually see the reset come in, so Dino still knows that there's no progress. Courtney's gonna go die edge map, but it doesn't really get them anything, especially if there is still a pain res in this area. We're gonna check around to see where everybody is, but there's just not enough progress at all. V1 just started this generator. No EMP in hand, and looks like Flix is rotating for this pull again. We do actually see that Flix has a very interesting perk that might come into play very shortly if we are able to get this pull. We don't actually have our camera on that generator that V1 is on anymore. We have a little bit of a light post with these two cams here. Looking a little bit silly, two on either side. Looking like a modern day light post. And with that range add-on, we are able to get the TP onto V1. We double back a little bit, hesitated for just a second, but V1 didn't really have anything there, so Dino just kind of doubled back for nothing. And V1 playing this pallet really well. Dino getting that TP, but he wasn't inside the pallet, so he's not going to get anything for it. And they're just sitting back on that generator again, and Dino's pop just runs out. He doesn't kick it in time. We're going to bait the TP onto Courtney, but we're going to kick this generator first. And we're going to replace this camera in a better spot for us. And we're going to clear up some of these cams, see what we can do. Dino does not want to let another generator pop. And we get the TP onto Courtney again. He doesn't have the sprint burst ready because of that oxygen tank. No sprint burst. And we're going to have another down onto Courtney. Somebody is still pain res. And I think it must be Flix. And that's Courtney dead, so this is now a 2v1. Looks like they're trying to crank this generator. And he still manages to get the TP angle here. this is looking like it's going to be a 4K2 for Dino. He's going to have to mess up quite a few times if they're going to pop another generator in this 2v1. Trying to get an angle onto Flix and just barely doesn't get the TP. We're looking to see where V1 is, and that very, very cheeky angle. We're going to get the down onto V1. We can't let him bleed out, though, is the thing. That would be very bad for us, but we're going to get the TP onto Flix. And this is going to be the last chase of the game. Because this is points-based, if V1 does bleed out, that is quite a bit of points denied for Dino. So, honestly, Flix's goal here should be to chase long enough that V1 can bleed out before Dino can get back there. His bleed-out bar is very, very progressed. Nice chase from Flix so far, but he's going to vault that, and Dino's going to get the hit. So I don't think this is going to be a very long chase. And we're going to get the TP through Shaq, but I think we still have Shaq, possibly. At least we can increase the time of this chase by quite a bit. And Flix is going to loop back to this pallet, and Dino's going to have to play around this. And he just goes for it. He just goes around instantly. And we're going to pick Flix, but we're going to have to haul our butt to V1 if we don't want that bleed out to come through. I believe V1 is Death Hook, so not the worst points lost in the world. We got fat shamed a little bit there, but we're going to have to hope we can find V1. He's sneaking here a little bit. Dino's going to check the wrong corner, and if V1 can bleed out, that would be huge. Or if he can even get Hatch, but looks like Flix is trying to die on Hook, so that is a bit of a dangerous position. Dino might go check Hatch to close it, but he's not. I think V1's going to get Hatch. He's going to get out through Hatch. That's going to be a crazy points difference because he just did not think that V1 would have crawled the Hatch. That's actually some escape points for Team Oracle here. So in spite of the 4K2, that is a bit of a points loss for Dino. We'll do the math during the break and let you guys know what that means. So we'll be right back for the second half of this set. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the Singu set. We're seeing Bolitar on Singu. We saw that V1 last match was able to get out through the hatch. This is a points-based league, not the cascading system. So that did actually have a very, very, very big impact. The fact that he was able to get out through hatch. Um, we did some calculations and we couldn't find a tie condition. What we did find is that Chads needs an out to win. Even though Dino managed to get that 4K2, it wasn't technically a 4K2. The enough points were denied that Chads either need an out at 4K1 or they need pop all gens and one stage out the gate. So bit unfortunate for Chads that Dino was not able to get that, but this is going to be bit easier of a win condition for Bolitar. He is aware of it as well. We have Chase onto Z Slasher. We have that first infection very quick. We have 2 pallets drop, but I think Z is going to make this vault pretty cleanly. Good chase so far from Z. We're going to have that chain ball. We made it through the window. I think he's going to keep running. He does. He's going to try to make it back to that window, but I think on crossping you don't quite make that. And he doesn't, but might be going for our little death spot in this corner of the map. We do have 1 pallet to work with to waste a little bit more time, but on cross ping, it's a little bit hard to play, and that is going to be the first down. No support onto Z Slasher. And we are going to take this hook beside main. This is a very strong hook spot. It is super body blockable if he does camp this. And that is going to be a pain res coming through. We do have a completely different build from Dino. We saw him with very, very aggressive gen build. That did end up paying off. Bolitar is rocking a pretty standard build. We have Pain Res, Eruption, and Dragon Script. We have a lot of progress on this side of the map, but not able to quite pop any of them. And we're going to get the TP onto Dino. Looks like he stood still long enough to get his exhaustion back. I think that was a balanced landing. We're going to take Chase here onto Dino, try to get some pressure. We do manage to get the TP through the wagon. A little bit of movement here, not quite going to work, but Dino drops the pallet just at the last second and isn't going to be able to make it anywhere. That was the last little bit of his overclock, but a nice vault back from Dino. He's going to be able to get out of that area and run away, and Bolitar is going to feel like he has to go back, try to deny an unhook, but we're going to get the unhook anyway. Good timing from Chads, but we do have a lot of injures, so this is still a good spot for Bolitar. He's going to try to interrupt Z Slasher on the main building. He did vault back into him, but he's not quite able to get that TP. We're going to try to get another infection onto Dino. We don't have Soma, so Dino is fine. No mending. We're going to try to get that TP, but Dino does deny this, and we're going to see if we can find Z Slasher here. And we do. He was just at the corner. I think he's going to make that vault. Bolitar swings for it from so far away, and he doesn't quite make it. Oh my gosh, that is cross ping. That is the long arms of Bolitar. And we're going to be crawling away. I think this is Tenacity on Z Slasher. And that's going to be Eruption popping that generator as well. And we're going to take this front main hook. We do have a bit of a 3-gen here. Looks like we had a little bit of progress on this generator, but not too much. And we find John, our... Oh no, Inno's healthy now as well. I was say our only healthy survivor, but we actually see Inno in Shack. But we're going to try to pressure John here. We just disinfected, but we're going to be able to replace our camera. And we see him pre-dropping that pallet, actually. And we are going to put Dragon's Grip and Eruption onto that generator. And we are going to see the pull come through. And we're going to take the TP onto John. We saw the heal, the FTP onto Z-Slasher, but John's going to be able to make it to Shack, so we might not get any value out of this Dragon's Grip. It does last a very long time. John's going to have to be careful not to misplay. He's going to be able to get another TP if he wants it, but not going to do it. And Dino's going to drop and still... Oh, actually, that's my bad. We actually don't have Oxygen Tank. This is why Dino's been able to get these balanced landings for free. We have a different green add-on. And we're going to have the down Dino going all the way to the corner of the map. But we're going to check the gen. It's almost done. We're going to want to pop it before Dino gets pain rest. But we're not going to see anybody on it. So possibly nobody rotating for that just yet. But Dino is going to be hooked on a pain rest hook very shortly. The only one who could really get on that is John. But, I mean, we know he was not super in that area. And that's going to be the pain rest. we have a little bit more progress on here. Z-Slasher's going to have to play very safe throughout the rest of this game, as he is Death Hook. If he ends up dying, that would spell disaster for Team Chads. And we see John on the water tower generator. And we see somebody, I think this is Inno. I think that was the injured survivor. And it is. And we're going to do a little bit of a double back. And it actually worked, but Ward second guessed himself and thought it didn't. But we are going to eventually get this down. And this is going to be Inno downed on this hook. And we're going to take it and get another painters. And there is a little bit of bugged audio happening on Ward right now. So I'm going to switch away and hope it goes back to normal after the hook. And that's going to be painters on that generator. They don't have much progress anymore. It looks like Gallows has regressed quite a bit. And finally, the bugged audio is fixed. And we're going to see the reset onto Dino. Ward is going to go look for it, see if he can find it. Not quite going to see it. But we do get some pressure onto John again. We got the reset off. And looking for a TP angle on John, but he's got some heads up and dodges it. So not going to give that free TP, but we have a good gen spread at main. And we see Z-Slasher behind main. This is our tunnel out. We can pretty comfortably commit this. We're going to get the TP behind main. He's going to get that vault. Thankfully, he makes it this time. Ward is in a cooldown. Inno's going to get unhooked. And looks like we have a second win. And Z-Slasher Nice did not move at all and actually left the chain ball behind the window. And Bullatar swings for that instead of taking the safe play and running around it. And Z-Slasher looks like he has a bit of a delayed lithe, possibly. And somebody EMPs him in main. So this is some good teamwork. And that camera actually didn't end up placing. So Z-Slasher on a bit of a good run here so far. And Bullatar is going to maybe drop this chase. But it looks like he's still playing for Z-Slasher. We're going to play around this pallet. Hope we can catch him off. And we actually catch him trying to jiggy away. But he gets hit and not going to be able to TP through Shack. And John pops that generator. And we're going to commit this generator as well. If Z-Slasher can keep a good chase, this would be very good for both Team Chads. But we're actually going to drop chase. And Inno actually was trying to dodge one camera, but ended up walking into the other one. But Z-Slasher is still stuck here. And we now have Eruption on that generator. So it's only a matter of time before Z-Slasher dies. And we have a vault, but oh my gosh, Bullatar expects another double vault. But he doesn't do it. But this is still going to be the death before that generator is going to pop. And this is looking bad for Team Chads. I don't know how much progress we have, but this is going to be Z-Slasher dead. Looks like we're actually in a spot to pop a couple more generators here. Inno's going to be exposed for a little bit longer, but Dino's not going to be able to pop this gen. They need two more. And he's... Okay, so Inno pre-left and Dino got on the gen, and Bullatar is going to be chasing Inno here. He's going to go for a crazy swing, but Inno makes it, and we don't know that Dino is back on that generator, so they're going to pop it. So now at this point, in the future, Team Chads could possibly play for a Trauma Tech. They need one stage out by any means to take this set win, so they could get somebody out with Hash, just like V1 did. That is a possibility. I don't know if Ward is going to allow it. It was very, very niche situation that it was able to happen, as Dino thought they were going to be playing for a bleed out. But we are going to get this chase on a Dino. We don't have Shack Pallet. He's going to go down here, and we still have this 3-gen around main. But like I said, they do have a play here in the Trauma Tech. They can just leave Dino on the ground forever as well. If he bleeds out, and Bullatar never picks him. So that is a possibility for Team Chads here if they aren't confident in trying to break this 3-gen. Especially in the 3v1, it is very typical of Singu, where once you're in the 3v1, you just can't pop another generator, as long as the Singu plays correctly. They do have quite a bit of progress, though. And we actually see the pick on a Dino. And he's not going to get that TP. Oh, he does. Just barely at the end of his TP range. He's going to get Dino, and Dino just held W through it. Maybe forgot that there was no pallet there anymore. And Dino's going to drop this pallet and vault back, but just not quite in time. Very difficult pallet to play on cross ping. We saw a lot of hits around pallets through pallets on Dino's killer side, and we're seeing a lot on Bullatar's side as well. So if they do... Oh, we saw a little bit of a telephone there as well. So we have an EMP onto this generator. We have a little bit of gen progress. Bullatar can't really camp out Dino. He is dead on hook, however. So this would be pretty bad. We're looking for somebody pre-stealthing, but I mean, it's possible they're just monkeying the generator. And I kind of want to go see. No, it looks like John is waiting at main to be able to go pressure this. Inno is just slamming this generator. And Bolitar is checking, making sure that this pull can't come through. We're just pretty happy to sit here for the time being. This is pretty good for Chads. They're getting a lot of progress on this generator, but he does finally get it. But if Bolitar ever TPs, I think that John's going to be in a position to get the pull. But we actually see John here. John's coming in with an EMP. Now that we see both survivors, we might actually leave the hook. And we do. So they're not going to be able to pop this. So somebody is now going to have to rotate around and save Dino. They're not going to be able to pop this gen anymore. He did see both of them. Oh, he still sees both survivors. This is bad. I think they had to be doubling this earlier. Dino's just dead now. They had to double that from the get-go, I think. But John ended up waiting here up until the last moment where Bolitar wasn't camping anymore. So just kind of mistimed, misplayed from Team Chads here. They kind of just gave Bolitar exactly what he needed. And a bit of a sad thing for Team Chads here is if they get 4K'd now, this would have been a win in pretty much any other league. But again, the point system from V1 sneakily able to get that unhook. Oh, sorry, from that escape. But when we see Inno, and I think this is going to be it. All we can do is get a bleed out, but all of these survivors are fresh to the ground. So I don't think it's going to happen. And we knew that Tenacity was somebody else. So I think this is going to be the 2-0 for Oracle here because of that clutch hatch escape from V1. Possibly would have still been the win if he had bled out as well. He only had one hook stage on him when he did end up getting that hatch, but not too sure. And we're going to go look for John. This is... Yeah, and he's just right here. So this is going to be confirmed the win for Team Oracle. It's going to be a 2-1 after a... or 2-0, sorry. After a hard-fought Single game, very impressive Single game from Dino, but great plays from Bolitar here, keeping the pressure on and getting that 4K1, more of the expected Singularity result you'd see, and actually getting some Dragon Script value throughout this game as well. So that's going to wrap things up for me today. I believe we have no more matches for today, but we are going to be back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. EST. We're having Ominous versus Invictus. Then we're having Demonic versus Ominous right after that at 1 p.m. EST. Then we're not having any more games until the evening, where we're going to see Demonic versus Shrouded at 7. So hopefully we'll see you guys all tomorrow. And that's going to be it for us today. Thanks for coming by and watching.